You were at Martin O'Neill's press conference today, Mick, at Lennoxtown. How was he, I guess?
It was, listen, this season has been the most bizarre Netflix box set I've ever watched. It's been unbelievable. And Martin O'Neill walks back in with a big smile on his face, and he goes, the best thing I've been away for Christmas and New Year was I didn't get to talk to you, bees.
And he's only half joking, by the way.
Exactly, as he always is. Many a true word said in jest when it comes to Martin O'Neill. But no, he was in top form. He started back in like a comfy pair of slippers. It was just like back to where he looked like a man in his element. He looked happy to be back. It was good. It was quite revealing some of his stuff he was saying. It was interesting. I think unlike the first time round when he's come back in to do a kind of a patch up job for at that point 3 or 4 weeks, or at most, he now knows he's got 3 or 4 months and it's game on time and it's prize winning time. And he also knows that the limitations and problems of the first period, which he managed to kind of get through, are still here and still there. So I thought there were some interesting takeaways. I mean, the transfer thing is a big issue. He knows. Listen, when Martin O'Neill left last time, he presented to the board his idea and opinion of where the club were and what they need. So he's back, and the same things are still there. So they know what is required. He revealed that Sean Maloney has actually been working in the background on transfers, which it confirms what we suspected in the last few weeks, that Paul Tisdale, after the kind of cup final, has kind of faded into his kind of insignificance in the background, with a view to his exit. Which meant,
do you think, Mick?
Sorry?
Do you think?
Yeah.
Because it looks like the arrival of the Mexican international at the start of the month, ahead of the Old Firm game, that had Paul Tisdale and Wilfred Nancy vibes. There was a Columbus Crew player, obviously, at the Old Firm game, and that couldn't get any more Nancy vibes. No, so I'm wondering about this, and I'm going to be real. And by the way, the and it might well be, you might be right, that Sean Maloney has identified the winger in Israel that they're looking at.
These aren't players that are. The boy at Bournemouth is not a player that's been on Celtic's long-term scouting list. It's a boy that's been made available for a loan deal to Celtic. So whether it's Sean Maloney or Paul Tisdale or the secretary at Lennoxtown picking up the phone, these are deals that are offered to Celtic and they've offered to take them. And likewise, the boy from Israel as well is a player who's getting touted around a lot of clubs in Europe who are of a similar level, which would be Celtic. I guarantee Rangers have been offered them as well. Your Antwerps, your Bruges, your Liga Warsaw's, all the teams in a relatively similar bracket. These are players that are
all in the same pot.
Yeah. So Tisdale, I mean, the talk was he was on holiday. There was rumours about being on gardening leave the last few weeks of the year. Clearly now it looks like he was on his way out the door, and that's been confirmed. The boy in the stand from Columbus Crew, I think, might have been a bit of a red herring. It might have been that Nancy wanted to bring him in, but whether that's would have delivered that one, I'm not sure. He's a 5'9" right centre back, stroke right back at 31, who I hear a pretty good contract at Columbus Crew, but he'd been cost way more than probably he's worth. I'm not sure about that one. I just think, Celtic are cutting. I think they're trying to just cut out the things that have caused problems in the last 6 months. And this is another.
That's a good idea.
But you could say it's overdue and it should have been seen beforehand. But I think that's the case. And Martin O'Neill coming back allows them to do that. But it is all about transfers now. I mean, Celtic, the scouting department is still there, whether Tisdale's there or not. So there is still a scouting network. And by the way, a lot of them at the end of their tether with certain things happening behind the scenes and have been for a while. So things will keep ticking over. I think Maloney's taking a hands-on role, which is interesting. O'Neill admits that he's going to rely on him and Mark Fotheringham and Steve McManus to have a view on these players because they have to fast forward it all. They need a striker indoor 4 days ago. They need a couple of wide men, a centre half, we've got the right back now, I suppose. But there's still work to be done. So it's going to be done and fast forward. In fact, he left us back at 3 o'clock, and he was going straight into a meeting over transfers with Maloney and a few other members of the staff at Lennoxtown. So that's how prominent this is just now for Celtic.
I wrote a piece
first thing on the agenda.
I wrote a piece today, Mick, that went up online. I think it might be in the paper tomorrow. But I had a few. I mean, we all know what a smart, shrewd, wily old fox Martin O'Neill is. I can't believe for a single second that he would allow himself to be boxed back into this situation without getting real cast iron guarantees about the backing and financial wherewithal that Celtic are willing to throw behind them in this January transfer window, and in particular with the search for a striker. This search for a striker that's seemingly endless, that should have begun 12 months ago when they were first flirted with the idea of letting Kyogo out the door. It has to happen. And I can't believe that Martin O'Neill would have allowed himself to be put in this situation if he thought he was effectively going to be holding a water pistol going into a gunfight at the end of January.
No, I totally agree. And I agree with you. Listen, we know Martin, he likes to play that kind of role, doesn't he? Makes jokes all the time and all that stuff, but he's deadly serious. And by the way, he didn't pull any punches when it came to assessing the squad at times. He knows what they're lacking and what they need. And we're trying to ask him, let's just about obviously need a striker, and he looks at you like, well, you're stating the blooming obvious, you know what I mean? He turns it around and says, well, you're saying that and all that. Yeah, but he knows exactly what's required. Listen, Celtic have struggled for goals most of the season. Actually, weirdly, until Nancy went all gung-ho and forgot that you have to defend as well.
That was day one.
Well, I mean, I know some people are saying that he's a bit unlucky because of the XG apparently was through the roof. Oh. You're like, but you need to score 5 goals a game to win a match. That's not. You could have literally have Erling Haaland up front for you, and it's not going to work. So I didn't buy that either. But there is glaring deficiencies that need to be addressed if they want to win the league. Because I don't know about you guys, this current Celtic squad is not winning the league.
I agree with that.
No,
I don't think they win it from here.
I think if you assess the 3 teams, if it is 3, if Motherwell don't get into it, but if we just count it as the top 3 just now, I think there's only one squad that's equipped to win the league, and I don't think it's in Glasgow. So I think that what happens in the January transfer window will determine whether or not Celtic and or Rangers can get themselves into a fit enough shape to put up a credible challenge. I think you're absolutely right, Mike. I don't think either of them, as things stand right now, are as well equipped as Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Celtic had, if they had Jota, Carter Vickers and Arthur Johnson, I think they would have a better chance at this point in time. And even throw Iniacho into that, although he's never really been fit. So I think that's a key. And I think also at Hearts, if Hearts lose any 2 of their 3 front men, they're in bother. Because they are very reliant on Shankland, Braga, Karasidis, because I don't think Hearts are great what they do, but they're very reliant on those 3 to create a bit of magic in the final third. They don't create a lot for the middle of the park, and if they lost, imagine they lose 3 in one whack, they're in big trouble. But that's any team, you rely on having your best players. But Celtic have got the resources to go and.
But you'd also fancy Tony Bloom to not just let his programmers find solutions to that and give Derek McInnes more options. You'd also fancy Tony Bloom to stick a few quid on the desk for him as well, to make sure that Hearts are.
He's got a couple of come in as well, hasn't he? I mean, he's got a few signings that I haven't seen yet. That's not what come in. So I totally like that as well. I think it's really interesting. It looks like it's going to be a really exciting charge for the line, isn't it? You know what I mean? You've got to assume. Listen, Rangers. If you're Rangers as well, you're thinking we've got an amazing chance here. 6 points behind, getting to the turn of the year, having started the season so abysmally, and now we're in this position. They must be thinking, right, let's go and put a few quid down, because they can go directly into the Champions League next year. Unlike Celtic and Hearts.
From a Rangers perspective and Andrew Kavanagh's perspective, this is, if there's ever been the moment of speculate to accumulate, this has to be it. Yeah. Because as you said, that the possibility of direct access into the Champions League means spend, 6-7 million this January, multiply it by 5, 6, 7, 8 by the summer.